Due to opinion-related subject matter, viewer discretion is advised. Starting with the character models. On average, I would say the models in BT3 look better than the models on B3. They seem close to the anime, as well as seeming to be more alive. For the stages, B3 has more detail in them. The backgrounds on the B3 stages help bring them to life better than the BT3 stages. So those two even out. So let's look at the other effects. First, let's start with the auras. Out of every DBZ game I have played, I have to say B3 has the best auras. The color on some just look great. But on top of that, some auras become larger and more active when you transform. My only complaint is that the lightning on the auras is the wrong color. This brings us to the attacks. This one I will have to give to BT3. The overall polish of the attacks is better. Some of the ultimates in B3 look more like bursts than real beams, while in BT3 the beams look like beams. There are also small little things on the attack that make them overall look nice. Only thing B3 has over BT3 in terms of attack are the planet destruction effects. Pretty clear which ones are better. So overall, I would say the graphics in BT3 are a little bit better than the ones in B3. I bet most of you are going to say B3 wins here without any trouble at all. Well, you would be wrong. So let's look at why. To quickly sum up the story mode for each game. In B3, you fly around and have a lot of events and secrets you can find while you level up after your fight. In BT3, you pick which fight you want to do, and each fight follows what happened in the story well. The reasons why B3 doesn't win easily are pretty simple. The story in BT3 is told better. With the characters talking about the events that happen in the fighting, along with the triggered events, the story seems to play a bigger role in BT3 than in B3. That being said, B3 has a lot more to cover in its story mode. It is fun to have your character level up, and as you go through, there are all the secrets you can find. Plus, after you clear it once and clear some of the other characters, extra events open up. Though BT3 has its own share of surprise events. So B3 does win here, but I wouldn't say it was done easily. They are both basically the same. My only gripe here is that in B3, each stage has its own music, and you aren't free to pick which one you want. Not a big deal, but it is a bit annoying. There isn't a chance I could go over this without getting hundreds of comments from people trying to bite my head off. Oh well, by the way. So in BT3 you have free flight in a 3D field, while in B3 you have a more traditional fighter on a 2D field. Both systems are solid and offer plenty of ways for good players to display skills against those less skilled. And after all, isn't that what depth really is? What you learn in BT3 to get better is proper use of blast 1 skills, timing on teleporting, knowing how to chain attacks well for combos, and of course how to manage your ki. In B3 you have learning your combos, feints, mix-ups, timing for teleports and other things, and of course ki management as well. So each game does what it tries to do well, and we'll just give them a tie. Now this is a tricky category. On one side you have the ability to raise your stats really high to just outclass people. On the other, you have the ability to change the basic functions of your characters. A major difference in these two though, is that in B3 you have to equip your special attacks and transformations. This is only a big problem for characters with a lot of transformations, as you'll have to use most of your equipment slots just for their transformations. BT3 has the option to equip AI settings to the character, so that when they're controlled by the computer they will fight differently. Also, the setups are all handled with items, so switching the characters around doesn't involve having to reset them completely and then boosting their levels back up. Finally, there are 3 setup slots for each character. So while BT3 doesn't offer as much in the area of being able to outclass someone in raw stats, it does give more options as to what you can do. The only advantage B3 has is the fact that there's a clear difference between a level 10 and a level 50, while in BT3 there really isn't a way to open a gap like that. I'm going to give this one to BT3 due to the options and freedoms you have, plus not having to equip your transformation. The 2 biggest things I feel BT3 holds over B3 are tag team and being able to pick transformations before a fight. 2 pretty simple things. I can set up pretty much any fight I would want in any form I would want. Also, BT3 has more characters easily. In terms of the costume, B3 wins here. Most of the characters in B3 would have a true alternate over BT3, which has a lot of palette swaps. Granted, BT3 has a lot of characters that were only shown in one outfit, but B3 has ults for Kid Trunks and Goten, while BT3 doesn't. So, B3 wins. Finally, we come to Ultimate Battle and Dragon Arena. Best thing about Dragon Arena is, you can fight using your leveled up characters, while Ultimate Battle fills in as more of a challenge mode. Both seem to work as tests for your customized characters though, and each fits the game they're in, so I guess it's another tie. And we come to the end. Which one is better? It's really close, but I'm gonna have to go with BT3. It's more user-friendly, and it feels closer to DBZ. As a DBZ fan, you'll probably get more out of BT3 than B3. Though if you have the chance, get both. Neither will disappoint.